Hello friends and my lovely viewers. Welcome back to the channel of NeonSaif. Today we will compare our Queen of Frost Guardian to the Void Guardian and discuss which one is better. Let's get started.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. I'm tired of shit.
Allow me to quickly sum up the Void Guardian first, so we can get a brief idea about him. He has a couple of clan traits called Light of Grace and Aquatic Barrier. His Light of Grace is a critical damage debuff that impacts the enemy who attacks him, while his Aquatic Barrier is a strength resistance buff placed upon the front row of our team for the first 10 seconds of the battle. So to put it simply, our Void Guardian has supportive properties to buff the allies and debuff the enemies. This set of clan traits leads him away from the typical DPS route and pushes him towards a tank or supportive role of the team. And this same pattern can be seen in his skills as well. In the active skill of his, he stuns enemies, deals some damage but also protects his teammates with shields. So even though he taps a little bit into the DPS role, his main focus with this skill is to shield the allies from harm. And in the next skill of his, aka the passive one, he acts like a human shield for his teammates. As we can see, he will also heal the allies and buff his own ultimate and guardian skill if the support effect activates. Once again, this proves to us that he is meant to be a tank of the team. He acts like a main structure or a main brick who keeps the team together, which is something we can seriously benefit from if the team of ours lack a proper tank. As for the ultimate skill, he does deal some true damage at first, but he ultimately debuffs the enemy's strength by a certain percentage for a set time. And that is in my opinion the best part of this skill. The damage he deals feels more like an extra bonus, while all the buffs and protection is the real deal and the main thing of his. His Guardian skill is the only skill where he is more focused on dealing damage. The only additional effect he has is the recovery effect he gives himself according to how much damage he dealt in his Guardian skill. And that recovery is only aimed at himself, not the teammates from what I can understand. This all being said, I personally believe he is truly great in battle because of the control effects he uses. Like I said, he is like a main brick of the team, so if we have a super weak and squishy team or a team full of DPS champions from before, then he may be a great option. He is perfect for buffing and protecting our teammates, and he also works really well at making the enemy's battle a living hell. Anyways, it is still too early to tell if he is better or worse than Queen of Frost, as we have yet to check her out. So let's move on to her now. I have recently made a full evaluation video about her, so I will do my very best to keep this sum up brief and short. Her clan traits are fully DPS focused, where Shura's avatar buffs the critical damage by a certain percentage for a set time when the said criterias are met, and Obliterate buffs our Guardian's damage by a percentage for a set period of time when the ultimate skill is activated. So like I said, her clan traits only focus on buffing her damage output. In her active skill, she deals AoE damage to the nearby enemies multiple times. It is also connected with her passive skill a little, so if you want to pause the video to read her entire skill description, you may absolutely do so. The passive skill is actually almost entirely based on debuffing the enemy. There are some truly great debuff effects to be found in this skill, and we can really annoy the out of the enemies with this condensed state of hers. She makes her critical damage guaranteed to hit the opponents, and by the very end of this passive, she deals true damage to the enemy. So I wouldn't say it is super damage related, but we have to keep in mind that she is guaranteed to hit them with critical damage while the condense effect is activated. Thus, it is still somewhat damage related, unlike the Void Guardian who is way more focused on caring for the teammates. I would say our Queen of Frost is more selfish with her special effects in general, while Void is sharing his buffs with everyone. In the ultimate skill of hers, as a passive effect she deals more damage if her constitution is low. And when we activate this skill, she deals AoE damage and restores her own constitution. So she does focus on striking multiple enemies with her attacks, which is a nice thing, not gonna lie. It makes her great for PvP just like the Void Guardian. The final Guardian skill is basically based on dealing AoE damage and creating a shield for herself. There is not much else to add to it, since I am trying to keep this brief and light. But this all being said and done, we are faced with two completely different types of Guardians. One is a tank or support with control effects, while the other one is a DPS type with AoE focused damage. They both are truly awesome in their own unique way, and serve their individual purposes on the battlefield. Even though I truly want to rank these two guardians, I honestly don't feel like we can place one guardian over the other because of their big differences. But we can choose between them depending on our current team composition. If we lack a proper foundation or survivability in the team, then Void can be an amazing asset to keep our champions floating for longer. But if we already have an amazing tank or truly durable champions in our team, then Queen of Frost may be a greater choice of guardian. Queen of Frost could also serve well if the team is somewhat stable but lacking DPS power. To tell you truthfully though, I would personally go for the Void Guardian first, because I would like to have a proper foundation before I decorate my team with fancy DPS champions, hybrids, or guardians. Correct me if I am wrong, but I think there may also be better DPS options compared to the tank options, which makes Void a rare entity and more valuable, if that makes sense. So we can always choose DPS champions from the hybrid section or the normal champion section, as it may be easier and cheaper and so on. Do keep in mind though, that these opinions of mine are solely based on my own thoughts and observations. So you don't have to take my advices or feel obliged to pick the guardian that I am considering for myself. It all depends on our own preferences and how we would like to build up our own team. There are after all many different paths and ways to become powerful in Bloodline. This all being said, I think we have covered most of the topic. If you have any questions or anything you would like to share with us, feel free to comment below. We highly appreciate your support and contribution. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and we will see you in the next one. Take care, stay foxy, adios, bye.